So if you're watching this, you're probably thinking about moving right here to San Diego and you're like, okay, I want to move there, but I honestly have no idea where. And look, I get it. I've lived here my entire life, and our crew, our team has helped a ton of people relocate out here to San Diego. And San Diego County is big. Like when you start pulling up the map, there's just a lot going on. You got the beach cities, you have the inland suburbs, you have the master plan communities, you have the urban neighborhoods, and it can feel like there's real no way to organize it. So that's what that video is right here. Over the next 20 minutes or so, I'm gonna walk you through every major area of San Diego County, the city of San Diego, coastal North County, Rancho Santa Fe, North County Inland, South Bay, East County. We've helped over 100 families make this move, and by the end of this, you should have a pretty solid idea of where you fit. So let's get into it. So when people say they want to move to San Diego, a lot of times they're actually picturing the city of San Diego itself. That's where you fly into. And the thing to understand about the city of San Diego, though, is that it's massive. It's not just downtown. It's the 8th largest city in the country, and it covers everything from La Jolla all the way up to North County, all the way up touching certain parts of inland San Diego. So when someone calls us and says they want to live in San Diego, our first question is always, which part of San Diego? So let's start with downtown, because if you visited here before, this is probably what you've seen. The gas lamp, Little Italy, the waterfront, Petco Park, Seaport Village. And look, it's a really cool place to actually live if that urban lifestyle is what you're after. The walkability is super key down there. The food scene's awesome, and there's always something going on. Here's the thing, downtown is almost entirely condos. So there's no single family market down there. So if you're buying into a condo, you're also buying into an HOA. The median condo price in downtown right now is around $755,000. Now that sounds accessible compared to the rest of the county, but once you factor in HOA dues, which can run $500, $600, $800 a month in some buildings, and the true cost of ownership, it goes up really fast. So it's definitely a lifestyle buy. And if you know you want that urban energy, it definitely has all of that. But if you're on the fence, the math usually pushes people further north pretty quick. And then right on the coast, you have La Jolla. Great spot, world class, top notch. You've got the coves, you got the bluffs, the village, great restaurants, great shopping. And then right nearby, you have UCSD, you have Torrey Pines Mesa, and one of the biggest life science and medical research hubs in the country. We're talking tens of thousands of jobs tied to biotech, healthcare, and research across the San Diego region. But La Jolla pricing reflects all of that. For single family homes, 2.5 is like a good starting point for certain areas, depending on the exact neighborhood and what's selling at the time. So it's a premium area, and you're definitely paying for it. Then you've got Carmel Valley, and even though it's within the city of San Diego, it's really its own spot. It's great for people relocating for work or trying to be close to job centers, schools, and newer shopping and dining. It's master planned, it's clean, and many areas feed into highly rated schools, including Del Mar Union on the elementary side. You're right near Juan Paseo, and the tech and biotech corridor through Torrey Pines and Sorrento Valley. Pricing's right around $1.7 million for a single family home. So it's not cheap, but for a lot of buyers, the location, the layout, the schools, and the convenience are the draw. And speaking of that corridor, Sorrento Valley and Mira Mesa, right next to it, are kind of the workhorses of the city. Sorrento Valley is one of the biggest biotech and tech employment zones in the country. If your move is tied to a job that's in that industry, then there's a good chance your office will be somewhere along that stretch. And Mira Mesa, that's your more accessible option inside the city. Strong Asian food scene, solid schools, good neighborhood feel, and you're looking at a median right around $930,000 for a single family home. For the city of San Diego, that's actually pretty reasonable. Then you've got something like North Park and the surrounding areas. It's a completely different conversation. It's urban, it's walkable, some of the best restaurant and bar density in the city. So if you're looking to move here and you want a city with energy without paying downtown prices, North Park's usually where a lot of people go. You're mostly looking at condos and older craftsman style homes. For single family homes, you're looking at a median price right now, about $950,000. Condos and townhomes obviously come in below that. And then you have Rancho Bernardo, and I bring this up because a lot of people forget that it's technically still the city of San Diego, but it feels nothing like La Jolla, feels nothing like North Park. It's quiet, it's established, and it's one of the stronger move up buyer markets all around San Diego. It feeds into the Poway School District, great community feel, and you're looking at a median right now of about $1.1 million for a single family home. So the city of San Diego runs the full range, urban, walkable, all the way out to quiet suburban. It really just comes down to figuring out which version of the city fits your life. And real quick, if you want to go deeper on any of these cities and actually see the specific neighborhoods within them, we have a full neighborhood guide that breaks all of this down. The link's down below or the QR code popping up right now. It's free. And it'll probably save you a few hours of scrolling online and trying to figure this all out yourself. But now let's talk a little bit more about coastal North County. So this is a section that a lot of people come to San Diego specifically for. And look, coastal North County is what most people picture when they think San Diego, but it's actually 5 different cities, and knowing the difference between them can save you a lot of time in your search. Now let's start with Del Mar. Del Mar is probably the most expensive real estate per square foot in the entire county. You've got the racetrack, you've got the village, the bluffs, the beach, and inventory is extremely limited. Most of what sells here is either a tear down with an ocean view or a fully remodeled luxury home. You're looking at a median of right around 3.6 million. And that number climbs fast the closer you get to the water. It's really an incredible place, but it's for a very specific buyer. Right next door, you've got Solana Beach. And I want to give this one its own moment because it gets skipped a lot, and it's really shouldn't. It's a small city. It's only about 13,000 people, and it's dialed in. You have the Cedros Design District. It's one of the best little walkable stretches for food and shopping in all of North County. You have direct access to the Coaster train station if you want to shoot downtown. If you got a commute as well, it's easy to hop on. Fletcher Cove is right in the middle of town. That is the main beach. Easy beach access. Median for single families sits right around 2.1 million, and it's premium, but you're paying for a really well put together city. And we just made a full vlog on Solana Beach if you want to go check that out. Then you move up to Encinitas, and this is where the conversation opens up a little bit more. Encinitas has a really unique vibe. It's got that laid back surf culture feel where I don't think exists really in a lot of other places in the county at this level. You've got Lucadia on the north end of town. It's its own little spot within there, a little bit funky, independent restaurants. The train tracks run right through there. Limited beach access though with the bluffs. Cardiff's right down to the south with the lagoon and the reef breaks. Really awesome spot. And then the more polished Encinitas Ranch side is right in the center of town. There's really a wide range of pricing right here in Encinitas, depending on if you're west of the 5, if you are east of the 5, you want bigger single family home with character. But if you're looking for those single family homes right now, the median is right around 1.9 million. Carlsbad, this is the one that I enjoy walking people through, especially people moving here who look at some of these other areas and then they find out Carlsbad is the spot for them. It's got an awesome park system. You got the flower fields up to the north, Legoland, the Forum, a ton of walkable retail down in the Carlsbad Village. Carlsbad School District is consistently one of the better school districts in the county. And right now for single family homes in Carlsbad, you're looking about $1.6 million. You have communities like Acosta, you have Aviara, and honestly, if you're comparing apples to apples with Encinitas just to the south, you're getting more house for your money in Carlsbad, and it does check a lot of the same boxes. And then just to the north, you have Oceanside. And I always like to spend a little extra time here because I think it's still the most underestimated city on the coast. You've got Pier, you've got a revitalizing downtown, some really good restaurants, nice craft beer scene. Home prices there for a single family home, median prices right now about $873,000, which for the coast is pretty awesome. I mean, it does go inland quite a bit, but Oceanside is changing fast, and the people who are figuring that out a few years ago made the smart move. It's not really a hidden gem anymore, but it's still the best bang for your buck as far as a coastal city goes right here in San Diego. So whenever people ask me which coastal city, I always ask them 2 things. First off, what's your budget? And what do you care more about, the vibe of the area, the school district? Because those 2 questions usually get us dialed in pretty fast. Now, before we move inland, there's one area I have to give its own section because it just doesn't fit anywhere else, and that's Rancho Santa Fe. I mean, this is a completely different conversation from everything we've talked about and everything we're about to talk about. Rancho Santa Fe is one of the wealthiest zip codes in the country. You've got the Covenant, the historic core with big estate lots, mature eucalyptus groves, equestrian trails, a members-only golf club, and a level of privacy and space you just can't replicate anywhere else in the county. And then surrounding it, you've got areas like Fairbanks Ranch, Cielo, the Bridges. They're all sitting in that same orbit with their own gates and amenities. Median price point sits right around $4.3 million, and that's the middle part, right? That's not even the ceiling. You got the Covenant on a proper estate lot. You can be looking at $5, $6, $8 million and above. There are properties out there that trade in the tens of millions of dollars, but that's just the market out there. But here's what I want people to understand about Rancho Santa Fe. It's not just the price tag, right? It's the quiet. it's the space, it's the sense of community, all that's real. And the location's actually more central than people think. You're probably looking about 15 to 20 minutes to the beach. You're close to the 5 freeway, you're close to the 56, and the schools. Rancho Santa Fe School District feeds in some of the best high schools in the state. So if you're relocating at that price point and you haven't looked at Rancho Santa Fe, it's definitely worth a conversation. So now we're gonna move inland, and this is the section I think is the most underrated conversation in all of San Diego real estate right now, because here's the thing, you're getting significantly more home for your money. You're still in San Diego County. I mean, yeah, you get past the 15 freeway, it does start warming up, but where we're talking is not scorching. It's not far east. These are the cities that are right on the border where it gets warm. It's usually not too crazy hot, and the value you're getting, it's hard to argue with. Now, Vista is a good place to start. It's a little more inland. It has a hillier layout, and it has older housing stock mixed with newer neighborhoods. Downtown Vista has continued to grow with restaurants, breweries, events. Farmers market's not too far away, and the city has become a big part of North County's craft beer scene, with several local breweries and tasting rooms around. Single family pricing is usually well below the coastal cities, with the median sitting around the low to mid 800,000s, depending on where you're looking. Now, San Marcos, I like to point this out to a lot of people. You've got a lot going on in San Marcos. There's a real town center in North City being built out, a huge project. They built out a ton of trails in certain areas, especially the San Alejo area. You have Double Peak Park at the top of San Alejo Hills, some of the best views in all of North County. So if you're ever up that way, definitely go check that out. But as far as value, single family median right now is around 955,000. And you're getting a lot of home for that number. Now, Escondido is spread out. There's a lot of different areas of Escondido depending on where you're looking. It's the biggest city in North County inland. It's got a downtown that's been going through a lot of change over these past few years. It's got some of the most interesting older neighborhoods. Some areas you're gonna find bigger lots, mature trees, stuff where you just can't find as you're getting closer to the coast at this price point. You have proximity to wine country, you go north to Temecula, and that's a nice real lifestyle perk. So people who live out there, they'll go enjoy those amenities constantly. Single family median right now is around 768,000. So if you want space, if you want a yard, if you want room to actually live, Escondido might be a good spot. And then there's Poway. Even though it's kind of sits between the city of San Diego and North County inland geographically, I always bring it up as its own section because it belongs here. And one of the biggest draws is Poway Unified. It's consistently one of the top school districts in the entire state. And for families relocating with kids, that alone puts Poway on the short list. Beyond schools, it's well established. It's quiet, it's a good mix of older neighborhoods and some newer communities. The single family median right now sits around 1.26 million. So you're also closer to the 15, close to the tech and biotech corridors we've mentioned earlier. And a beach day is like totally doable. Saturday morning, you're looking at a little bit longer to get down there, but it's not out of the question. So as a whole, inland North County is the value play of San Diego County. And it's not really a compromise, it's definitely a choice. The people we work with who land out there, they actually end up really digging it. Now going down to the south, South Bay is one of those areas that I think gets skipped in a lot of relocation conversations, and it probably shouldn't. So let's start in Chula Vista at the Bayfront. There's $1 billion plus development happening right on the water. You're getting a convention center down there, the Gaylord Pacific Hotel, you're getting some retail, some public park space, and it's all tied together along the bay. So that's a massive investment, and it's actively reshaping what the city looks like. Like, it's not the Chula Vista that people think of when they hear Chula Vista. And on the east side of town, you've got Otay Ranch, and this is really its own conversation. One of the largest master plan communities in this whole area. Its own town center, trails, parks, strong schools, and a lot of people who want new construction. They want those amenities built into the community. They want a little bit more home for their dollar. Otay Ranch keeps coming up. The single family median across Chula Vista is right around 850,000. And for what you're getting, that's pretty solid value. And South Bay has some really solid freeway access too. On the east, you have the 125 going through the middle. You have the 805. To the west, you have the 5 freeway. So those are all easy access corridors going north to south. And all these connect to the job corridors without grinding through the middle of the city. So once you're living there, that matters the most, that people realize before they move. Once you're living it, that matters more than people realize before they actually move. So honestly, South Bay is growing. The investment is real. The price point is still accessible. And if you've been looking at areas further to the north and the numbers aren't working, this is where you might want to look next. And then there's East County, and this is really its own little world in San Diego County, but that's in a good way. So La Mesa is where I like to start because it tends to surprise people the most. La Mesa Village is a walkable little area in La Mesa, restaurants, breweries. weekly farmers market, an antique district people actually drive out specifically to hit up. And the homes, some of the most charming, older craftsman style homes in the county, tree lined streets. The single family median right now is around 893,000. And you look like straight shot to the 8, to Mission Valley, to downtown, all of it. So really good bang for your buck. El Cajon is the anchor of East County proper. More density, more commercial, a diverse food scene, and pricing that's really accessible. Single family median right now is around 818,000, which for everything else we've talked about today is one of the more accessible numbers in the county. You have the foothills and the outskirts surrounding the whole area, giving a nice setting depending on where you are in the city. And then you have easy access to the 8 freeway. And then Santee, I always like to bring this one up because people who haven't spent time here are usually surprised. Santee Lakes is a 190-acre recreational area, fishing, camping, trails, just really cool little spot to be on a weekend morning. Community is tight-knit, the schools are solid. Single family median right now sits for about 806,000. So for the size and lot you're getting, that's a lot of bang for your buck. Now, all these areas you're in the east, so it does get a little bit hotter out there, which is one of the drawbacks. East County is for the buyer who actually wants space, maybe wants more land, wants some of that outdoor lifestyle, a little bit of access to that outdoor lifestyle going east to San Diego. But drive times to the coast, to downtown, you can be 30, 45 minutes depending on where you are and where you're going. So you gotta be realistic. It's not really the beach communities if that's what you're looking for. But a lot of people that we work with who choose East County, they actually love it, but just choosing the right spot. So that's the full picture. 6 zones, all completely different from each other. The city of San Diego, if you want density options and job access all in one place. Coastal North County, if the beach lifestyle and school districts are driving your decision. Rancho Santa Fe, if you're at the luxury end and privacy and land are what matter most. North County Inland, if value and space and community feel are your thing. South Bay, if you want new construction, master plan living, and room to grow. In East County, if the outdoors, elbow room, and the beaches are not the most important thing on your list. And look, the mistake I see a lot of people make all the time is that they just search San Diego on Zillow and they just start clicking, and then they end up in the wrong part of the county for their actual life needs. And that's a tough lesson to learn after you've already moved. So if you want to figure out which one of these actually fits you, hit us up, call, text, email, whatever is easiest for you. We'll hop on a Zoom call, go through all your wants, your needs, your goals, and get you dialed in. We do this every week, and we've got your back when making the move here to San Diego. And if you want to go deeper into any of these specific areas, like specific neighborhoods inside Carlsbad, inside Encinitas, inside San Marcos, we have linked videos right down below, but we'll catch you next time.